You can't claim Social Security until age 62, but you may be surprised when people start thinking about it. Hi, I'm Mike Giordano, private wealth advisor with Williams Wealth Management, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people about Social Security. In this week's TV segment on WYFF News 4, we dive deeper into Social Security planning, including what factors should you consider when you're deciding when to claim benefits, and is it okay to factor in your personal feelings around Social Security? Plus, how make or break is it deciding between 62, 67, 70? We'll dive into all that and more in this week's segment.
Always enjoy these Wednesdays when we could kind of look at finances and you always boil it down. So right now there are a lot of people who are very interested because people like me in their 60s making that decision about when to take Social Security benefits. So there's not there's not a real definitive line when you should necessarily or when you can, but the numbers go up. So what is the best age? Does it vary? When do your clients start asking you these questions?
You hear, that's the fascinating thing, Jane. The earliest you can take Social Security is 62. I get clients that start asking in their 40s, right?
Really?
Absolutely. I think there's just a psychological thing that it's it feels very weighty. It feels, everyone in retirement is worried about how am I going to get my paycheck, right? And so your investments are a big way you can get some money, but people can't really, conceptualize that as actual income versus Social Security, which is a steady monthly check. So they get real concerned about wanting to know when should I take Social Security, and they might be still a decade away from it. But it speaks to the magnitude of the decision, and so it really is something that I'm not saying you got to start thinking about it in your 40s, but it is something that you definitely want to be thoughtful of before you actually start claiming benefits.
And the longer you wait, like you can take it at 62, but if you wait until 70, that's a very different number.
Oh, without question, yes. So the big decision here is you can take it as early as 62, you can take it as late as 70. The big number in the middle there is your full retirement age, and they call that your primary insurance amount. So that's your basically your dollar amount. So let's say that's 100%. If you were to take your benefits as early as 62, you're only getting 70% every month. So you're maximizing the number of months you're getting checks, but you're going to have reduced checks for the rest of your life. Versus if you wait all the way till 70, then you get 124% of that, full retirement amount. So you're maximizing the size of the checks, but it's, you're going to get less checks, obviously, just based on the math. So the real question is, how long do you think you're going to live, right?
Yeah.
And so if
Is that the main factor?
It really is the biggest factor because there's a break-even point if you make it into your 80s that if you waited, it made more sense to wait. Yes, you had less checks, but those bigger checks eventually catch up by the time you hit your 80s. But obviously nobody knows how long they're going to live. But if you're really concerned that you're not going to live very long, family history, whatnot, then yes, it might make sense financially to take the checks earlier. If you think you're going to make it into your 80s, then just from a pure financial standpoint, it can make sense to wait.
So there are a lot of qualitative factors around then. How do we weigh those in making some decisions about Social Security?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of factors. A few more. The qualitative factor is generally that I've been putting in for decades and decades and decades. I'm not sure about the solvency of the program, and I want to get my money as fast as possible. That makes me feel good. I start recouping some of the money that I put in. Totally makes sense, and there's nothing wrong with having those feelings. I mean, we don't live our lives in spreadsheets and numbers. There's real feelings that go into this stuff, and if having a check starting at age 62 makes you feel better, you definitely have to account for that. The thing I would just say is take a look at the entire situation. Make sure you're thoughtful about it because there's a lot of other factors that come into play. If your spouse is going to be pulling benefits off yourself, then the earlier you get your checks, the smaller they're going to be, and then the smaller your spouse's check's going to be. So if you want to help your spouse get a bigger check, it can be beneficial to wait too. So you definitely want to think about a lot of different factors.
Mike, is it a make or break decision? I mean, you're saying people in their 40s are already worrying about it. Is Social Security, when to take it, a make or break?
It depends. Yeah, no, it really does.
Cheater.
Like with everything, I mean, everybody's life is a little bit different, but it really depends based on how much are you relying on Social Security to make up your retirement income, right? Is it 50% of your retirement income, 60% of your retirement income, or is it 5? If it's 50% of your retirement income, a big percentage, then yeah, it's a much bigger deal when you decide. I've seen plans that work if people wait till 67, and they don't work if they start taking the benefits at 62. But if you are somebody that's only going to rely on Social Security for a very, very small portion of your retirement income, then it's not as weighty of a decision.
I thank you so much for all of this because those of you who are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, now you have that road ahead.
Life goes fast though, so
it does. 60 is here in no time at all. Mike, thank you so much.
I hope that information was helpful. If you're trying to piece together your retirement plan, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you in our community.